it out the mud. It feel different when you get it out the mud.
Welcome back to Conversations Over Chess. How you guys doing? I am your host, Elijah. Today, coming to sit down with me for this interview is going to be a great one. Today, we actually have a person who does know how to play chess, but we are not going to have a chess game during this one. This individual who was actually introduced to me from a friend of a friend who hopefully will be on this podcast one day soon. Without further ado, I love this couple. I'm interested to see what I'm about to learn about these two, and it's going to be a great interview. Introducing Sade. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Ryan, welcome to the podcast. All right. Appreciate you guys for having me.
I'm excited.
Excited? First question is, let the world know how long you guys have been together and how did you guys meet?
We met in 2022.
Okay.
I think it was April.
Does the month really matter?
It don't, but it was 2020. It was 2022.
So don't end up in the doghouse.
It was 2022, and we actually met off a dating app.
Yeah.
Okay. Dating app.
But on the app, you know, you can have like friends, like female friends or male friends.
Which app specifically?
Be okay. So when I moved down here from Cleveland, Ohio, I didn't know anybody but my family members. And my older cousins was like, well, download this app.
Yeah.
Because you might be able to find some friends. They basically probably was trying to tell me to get outside.
Yeah. You said, girl, get out of the house.
Get out the house. It's about time you get out of the house. So, yeah.
Okay. Who made the first move on the app?
So she matched. So I like when on the app is kind of weird. So like the girls match, and then I guess the dudes, you know, after they match, then you pick, you know, if you say yes or no.
I mean, I genuinely don't think like it matters. Like who?
No, but we matched.
Yeah. Okay.
And I responded with, she had a question in her profile.
What do you remember what the question was?
It was I said the question was different than she said the question was different. So what do you say the question was?
What do you say the question is? What do you remember? Definitely.
The question was on the lines of like, if you were my man, what could you bring to the table?
Okay. I like that question. What did you remember it as?
I thought the question said was.
His interpretation is funny, but
yeah. If you were my man, how would you make my life be? You know, if you were my man.
Okay. What was your answer?
That I would remind her every day that she was beautiful, smart, that the world needs her.
Okay.
You know, just everything that I see in her. And from that point on, she said, "Okay, yeah, we're dating."
And he told me he could cook.
That's a lie.
I was just saying, does he?
So when he said that in the thing, like I could cook for you and all this stuff, I'm like, damn, cook? I ain't had nobody that could ever cook for me.
So still can't.
Man, okay, he's learning. He's learning.
Okay. All right.
Barely.
Oh Lord. But okay, BLK dating app. How long were you guys on the app prior to meeting each other?
I would say me about a couple of weeks.
Weeks, okay.
I would say like a few days, honestly.
A few days. And you said you were from Cleveland, now living here in the DMV area, and you were originally from the DMV area? Okay, DMV, born and raised. All right. So the model for Conversations Over Chess is every loss is a lesson. Okay. So if you guys now, and I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but with you guys now at the point of almost being married, after meeting on a dating app, you're actually the first Black couple that I've ever known in real life that met on the app and are now getting married. Everybody else has always been white, but
we met them to try to get sponsor us.
Okay, yeah, because we were like, they should sponsor us.
Yeah,
because we
for
literally
sure.
After that we were inseparable.
That's what's up. That's always good to hear. That's always good to hear. So with the motto being every loss is a lesson, right? What has some lessons learned? And I'm assuming this question is being asked from the assumption that this is your first relationship. So what lessons did you guys learn in your previous relationships that you took with you to say, hey, I'm not going to do, hey, I am going to do this better. And then now getting to the point where you met an individual, been with them for such an X amount of time, and then is now getting married.
Well, you could answer this question because this is my first relationship.
Oh, this is? Okay, so yeah, you can answer this one.
For me, I would say, I won't say there's one thing, because like being with him, I've learned many things. But the top one is being patient with each other and with God.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
because my prior relationships, he's the first one that I've dated to be a God-fearing man, like in the Bible.
Yeah.
Praying with me, has no problem with fasting with me and all the other things. But everybody else were either Muslims and not in the church, so it was an adjustment. It was an adjustment. It wasn't a weird adjustment. It was more of like a healthy adjustment because a lot of
things seemed that it aligned up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what about you? If that essentially is being your first relationship?
Well, first and foremost, she taught me everything. So patience is for one thing, and learn how to be patient with myself because this is my first relationship, and to not get so mad when I do mess up on certain things.
Yeah.
And learn how to just learn from certain situations. So that's a major thing because every day not every day is always something, but you know, when things do occur, you gotta just be learning how to learn from them.
Okay.
That, and she also, because when I first met her, I knew God, but I wasn't close to God.
Yeah.
So she definitely helped me with that every single day. So when good things do come, I know it's not just because they come, it's because God gives them to me when He thinks I need them or when He thinks I'm ready.
Yeah.
So those two things.
So with you guys being engaged now, how long from when you met on the app did you date, and then now to being engaged? What is the timeline there?
So I would say I asked her to be my girlfriend 2 months after I met her.
Okay.
And then we got engaged October 29th of last year.
Okay. So about a year and some change, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being, from myself, who's been a lot of different places, living in Utah, living in Minnesota, living all these various places where different religions, different beliefs. Utah, they can get married after one day.
Yeah.
Minnesota, they can be married after 3 years, whatever it may be. So,
and isn't Utah like big on
Mormonism.
polygamy?
Yeah. So not necessarily that they're big on it. It does exist. It's not nothing that it's like, oh no, we don't do that. It's not out of the norm, but it's nothing that's like too crazy prominent like how it was back then.
Yeah.
At least from my point of view from living out there. Again, I wasn't in the backwood mountains and cabins, so I don't know what's going on back there. But to not always bash them just so bad, it is people that has one wife and one child. So with that being the timeline of it, what was it for each of you individually saying, I know that this is my forever?
Because we would have, for me, we would, we would have, certain things that would happen to us like any other couple would.
Yeah.
But it always drew us closer together. It never drifted us apart.
Okay.
When did you know though? Like when did you know that like you wanted to marry me?
After when the first situation happened with us, and then we kind of got back together with our families helping. So that's when I knew.
And not to harp on it, and again, we don't necessarily have to talk, but what was that situation, if you don't mind me asking?
You want me to?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
So
I would say the first situation and the second situation because they're both.
Okay, so we both had cheated.
Okay.
Everybody's perspective on cheating is completely different.
Definitely.
But pertaining to his perspective and my perspective, we both had cheated. It wasn't cheating is cheating. Bad is bad.
Yeah.
We both dealt with that and stuff like that. But yeah.
Okay.
I could see that. Yeah. After you just said it, I could see that.
Okay. What caused you guys to stay then? Because as an individual who has stepped out in multiple relationships and now being 27 years old, understanding the damage that I've done by being selfish in my own actions, it's something that I'm very regretful now as a single male because I'm like, dang, I messed up with such and such and I'm not with them because of my own selfish actions. So what has caused you guys to stay and then to be even stronger in that bond?
I think it's because no matter, even if we tried to separate each other or like step away, we just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like,
she has a gun to your head right now? I'm just playing. It's a joke.
No, like
it's a gun to your head. It's okay. Blink twice if you're in trouble, young man.
You blink.
Yeah.
No, so like we would I was staying at a friend's house and she was at her house,
Okay.
and it would be 4 o'clock in the morning, or we'd be just trying to drift apart, take time apart.
Yeah.
She would call or I would call. We couldn't.
Yeah.
No matter how frustrated we were at each other, how mad we were at each other.
It was one of those go be mad, but be close, be mad. Close
Yes, exactly.
Just be right here, be mad at me. All right, turn your shoulder. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, remember, we were together literally. When I say every weekend, after we first met, we were together every weekend, like clockwork.
Okay.
Like Friday through Sunday, or probably Friday through Tuesday, every single weekend.
All right.
So at that point, we got accustomed to being with each other. So when that situation happened, not only just that, but I've learned to be graceful.
Yeah.
And talk out situations, because I've been the one to get cheated on. But I was always, if I get cheated on, I'm leaving. Like, that's my first red flag. You ain't got to tell me twice.
Yeah.
But once again, he taught me patience, and he showed a lot of signs and green flags that nobody else have shown.
Yeah. Was it, I'm assuming that in the process of you guys coming back together, it was a lot of things that you guys had to work on. What things did, and correct me, you guys both had stepped out, right? Both cheated in whatever form. What things did you guys do to earn each other's trust back? Because an individual who's going to watch this is going to be like, hey, I have been somebody that has been cheated on, and he didn't work to get my trust back. What are some things I want to work on or look for from the woman's perspective?
Therapy.
Okay.
We went to therapy together before we got engaged.
Okay.
Up until we got engaged. Until we got engaged, we were going to therapy, and our pastor probably is like, you need to come back to therapy and finish. But yeah, I think, honestly, I'm not even gonna say that was number 1, 2, and 3 for us.
Okay.
After our first therapy session, he was like, all right, we know we don't want to do this with nobody else.
Yeah.
So what steps now? Like, what happens now?
That's awesome. I was gonna say, it's you guys are against the grain, because a lot of, obviously, black, it's against our culture type of thing, and
that's so annoying.
I'm in therapy myself, and I see how
annoying.
it pays dividends for me.
Yes,
because as I'm 27 and I lost my mom young and all these things, you understand where it's just like, yo, you have to talk through things.
Yes,
and it teaches you not only just to talk through things, but there's a different way of dealing with things, and how mom, dad, cousin, auntie, uncle had showed us
breaking
growing
those
up.
Curses, they say they're generational curses, but I don't necessarily think that they're curses. I just think like they're lessons that was taught behind us that we should have opened our eyes to see and use for the future.
And it actually goes back to what you were saying in the grace, because what I had to learn is my mom having 4 children and being a single mother, she can only do it with
what
the best, with the tools that she was given. So now that I have a different toolkit, it's up to me to do better.
Yeah,
so that's one thing that it's like I strive to be. Is like, okay, I know that I'm used to accustomed with just acting up and going to New York and but I got to learn how to just calm down, have a grown-up conversation, and do such and such, and just go.
But also be graceful on yourself.
Yeah.
Not just for others around you, because it's okay to take those times to wind down and take away. You don't have to be solely focused on the plan and go.
No, for sure. And that's something
if you are, when are you going to ever?
That's something that last year, 2023 in March, it was the first time in a long time that I have forgiven myself. And it took me a long time.
It does. I just was able to forgive myself when I moved down here. Like, it's hard. And I'm still like, things that happen, because I prayed and I asked God to remove things that I don't want to remember. But now certain things are coming back up, and I'm like, I have to apologize to somebody else and on top of myself, because that wasn't me.
Yeah.
It's hard. Forgiving yourself is harder than it is to forgive others.
I tell people all the time, like, yo, there's nothing more that you can do that I haven't already done to myself. Whew. It's no more hurt than hurting your own self. That is just like, oh man. So I understand that. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys is, how much have you guys multiplied each other? So one thing that I've always realized is that any man in my life has always had, that's very like prominent in whatever it is that he does. He doesn't have to make a lot of money, but he's just a man's man. Yes. He's always had a woman by his side that has just multiplied him in every single way possible and stood by his side. So for both of you, how has he multiplied you, and how have she multiplied you?
Would you like for me to go first? For me, I would say there's no like he's multiplied me mentally, and
Okay.
like when I say that, he motivates me to want to be better, not just for myself, but
Yeah.
also for him in our future. Like his strength. Like I'm trying not to get emotional, but
That's all right.
that lifts me up,
Okay.
and like just seeing him becoming the man that he wants to be every day, on top of overcoming obstacles as a Black man, that is what
Okay.
like lights my fire to like do more and do better in every aspect I can.
All right, Lomax, what about you?
So, I'm going to say it bluntly as possible. She helped me grow up.
Yeah.
Because when I first met
We
her,
all do as men. We all need to.
what? So when I first met her, I was okay with being where I was.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about wanting to grow so I can be where I want to be.
Okay.
So
nice.
She
now you're preaching to
motivates
me.
me to.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
So like, she motivates me to want to wake up in the morning every day, go to work, do what I had to do for her, for my family.
Mm-hmm.
What do people need from me so that I can help them? No matter what they give back to me, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as I'm the best version of myself that I want to be, that she wants me to be, and that God wants me to be.
Yeah.
So that's the mindset I had, that she has grown to help me, be the person who I need to be.
Yeah. So that's great. I was gonna say, so what are some things that you guys want to do and grow individually and then also together? What are some things, some goals, anything?
For me individually, I would say I just want to continue to like defeat the negative in my mind, like the what ifs and this could happen. Like we all know, like scenarios can happen. But I want to. I'm an overthinker, and I want to continue to defeat that, and he helps me with that. Like like anytime he sees my mood or my energy changing, he like, okay, all right, come on, and pour positivity into me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing. But yeah, for me, I would say that's the main thing.
Okay.
For me.
For me, I would say just try to block out all the outside noise.
Okay.
So block out all the, like she said, the negativity, things that don't have nothing to do with, it has to do with us.
Yeah.
But we're on the same page and know that we don't, that's not what that means. No, that's.
Yeah, because people like, for him, people would keep asking him, like, you're 25, are you sure you want to get married? Like, nobody asked me that. And I don't know if it's because, like, they know, like, girl, you done been through some stuff, so you already know, like, this is the one. But they be like, are you sure you want to get married? And I'm like, well, shit. Like,
everybody who gave us advice on that, only one person gave us different advice from everybody else.
Yeah, told us to do what we want to do.
Yeah, and 25, and you're 25 as well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 26.
26 and 25. Yeah. So I'm always a firm believer of monkey see, monkey do. And what I mean by that is that I didn't put an emphasis on marriage because I didn't see my mom married. And I now came to that conclusion after only having this conversation with my brother, like, yo, mommy wasn't married. That's probably why I didn't put emphasis on always wanting to put a ring on it. I was worried about the wrong thing, right? So for both of you individuals, were your parents married? Did that play a role when you wanted to get married? And what does that look like for you?
My mom wasn't married. But my grandparents were.
Okay.
So once again, going back to generational curses, I saw my mom being in multiple relationships. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And no offense to her, but the men were shit towards her. So I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna break that curse, and I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have a happy, healthy marriage, and then we're gonna have children. We're not gonna have any outside
baby daddies
kids,
and all of that
baby
like
daddies, and
Yeah.
My grandparents been married for like what, 45 years? Yeah, I'm sorry, like 45, 46 years.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to edit that out. Let them not know. I'm just playing.
Okay, my granny like, what? You don't know?
I don't know. They're your grandparents. You should know.
But granny, she gonna eat your ass up.
For what? She ain't never tell me.
It's all right. You're supposed to know either way, son. What about you?
For me, so my parents were married for 17 years, then got divorced.
Okay.
So it was, during their marriage, it was good moments and bad moments.
Yeah.
But I just had to learn how to say that doesn't have to be my life.
Mm-hmm.
I can, of course, have my own marriage. It doesn't have to be that way. I can do things differently that my parents didn't do.
Okay.
So there was a lot of things I learned, like communication for one. And of course, so the reason why, I'm just tell the reason why my parents got divorced, because both of my parents did commit adultery.
Okay.
So one of them cheated, and then they tried to fix it, but it just wasn't being able to get fixed.
Yeah.
So they got divorced when I was in high school, and they just haven't really talked since.
Okay. How has the divorce affected you in becoming a man, and how has seeing your mother come in and out of relationships and treated the way she was affected you? How much therapy we got?
That was a good question.
Yeah.
For me, I had to learn how to be feminine.
Okay.
Tap into my soft girl era.
Yeah.
Because she was always like, she was my mom and my dad. So she was always like,
yeah,
masculine and
yeah, she had to be
hard, and she had to be to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So that taught me to like, it's okay to allow somebody to know you. It's okay to open up. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to allow somebody to lead you instead of you leading them.
Definitely.
So,
for me, I would say at a young age when it happened, it made me feel like, damn, do you not care about me? Because of course you're cheating on my parent, but then I'm in the picture. I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm in here as well.
Yeah.
So you want to move on to something else and not care about me at all?
Are you enough?
Yeah, exactly. So it got to the point where I didn't really care about myself.
Self-esteem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to just learn how to love the person that God made, and just be okay with the fact of being that God doesn't make mistakes. So I'm perfect the way I am because I'm the way He wants me to be.
There you go. There you go. Amen to that. Say, listen, man. Black love, man. Black love. What are you guys looking forward to in marriage?
Everything.
Everything.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
We want kids, yes.
Okay.
But I don't want to wake up at no 4 in the morning.
Yeah, like right now, and it's so funny because like our parents, they're not trying to push that on us.
Okay, that's good.
It's more of our friends.
They like being aunties and uncles and giving them back to y'all. That's the problem.
It's more of it's more of our friends. Our friends like, come on, give me that TT baby. Give me them babies. But we just want to enjoy each other because we know when the kids come, there's no longer us being selfish.
Because our parents already said it. We're not really gonna get the kids till they like 5.
Yeah.
Until they're able to like walk.
At that point,
but everything else, I would say like just living life together, continuing. Like I want to see the type of person he's going to be in the next 10 years.
Yeah, and that's something you hear. Yeah, and that's something you hear a lot is to always wait on the kids because you need your you time, right?
Yeah.
You need to be married to each other first and then worry about bringing that next individual into that party.
Exactly.
Somebody told me at church today, literally saying like, yo, the world changes. Like everything that you know is just...
It's just changing. It's changing.
It's
like,
crazy.
if you think about it, our parents were having us about like what? From the age of 25 and up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no offense, but like
16,
it's
15,
changed. Yeah, it changed. And you're growing with your kids. I don't want to be growing with my kid.
Yeah.
No offense. Like I still want to have my youth, but I don't want to be growing with my kid.
How many kids do you guys want? Have you guys talked about that?
I want just 2.
See me, you on the same page.
Because I was the only child, so I was just like always by myself.
We're both the only child. We're both the only child.
Oh, yours are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we both agreed 2 or 3.
I was going to say, I'm the youngest of 4, and I always say, and I have a set of twin sisters, and she has a twin daughters.
Oh my goodness!
So my one sister has 6 kids, and in there she has the twins, and then my other sister has 1 son, and my oldest brother has 1 son.
Oh my goodness!
So I've always said I want 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and in a perfect world, it would just be at the same time. But obviously, the woman is carrying them, and the horror stories is crazy.
Like I'm praying that we get twins, because if we get twins, we're done.
Yeah,
and it runs in our family. Like
both sides? Okay.
My family.
Okay.
So I'm praying because one and done. Tie these tubes up now, please.
So talks of family, talks of marriage. Obviously, everything has a price. So what are you guys doing for work, and how does that tie into? Are you chasing the next promotion? Are you chasing all those things? Like, where does work fit in for you guys, and how is that prioritized?
It's really balanced with us. Like it's really balanced.
Okay.
I was a nurse when I moved down here,
Okay.
but like few months after we started dating, I stopped because, and he knows that it was emotionally draining for me, especially when I take on everybody's emotions and feelings. So I was coming home in the car, just sitting on the phone, crying in silence with him, and I didn't want to keep putting that onto him.
Yeah.
So, I changed. I'm changing my
occupation
to behavior analysis right now. So,
okay.
Yeah. So when I met her, I was doing construction and landscaping.
Okay.
And so I was working for the family business, and that was just stressful because construction and landscaping, that was my dad's family business.
Okay.
And that was just stressful because it was doing labor work on top of doing paperwork and actual other stuff that I had to do.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't figure it out at the time on how to juggle everything. So I stopped doing that and then became a teacher. So I teach 7th grade math.
7th grade math.
And also coach basketball.
Okay. Are the kids the future or no? That's what we used to say.
That's what used to for us. I feel like after us,
so we are the future. It just
we are the future. It just went. I mean, I'm not gonna say that though, because there's some kids out here that's 16 and they're like billionaires off of streaming
that is
and
very true.
Playing games. So they might be the future.
Yeah.
I will say this: they could be. They are smart enough. They're not stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not motivated. Their parents don't make them do the things they have to do.
What do you think motivates them now? Because in a world where there's so many distractions, I can be streaming, I can do whatever. What
likes?
Likes
in the game. Likes in the game.
Likes in the video game.
That's all they likes. I literally asked the kid,
like athletes.
Yeah. I literally asked the kid the other day. I said, "When you go home, when you leave school, what do you do?"
Yeah.
She said, "Well, I want to watch TV, play video games, go outside." I said, "You read, do anything?" She said, "No." I said, "And I teach math, and math and reading are 2 main things you need."
Yeah.
So I said, "You're only in my class for 70 minutes, so just all you do is that math, and that's it."
That's crazy.
She said, "Yeah."
I mean, you remember with us? Winter breaks, what we're doing? Going home, we're reading a book, or we're doing worksheets.
They sent us home with, you go for 3 weeks?
Home with a packet, and if we didn't come back to school with that packet, we're missing like a good 100 points.
I never forget my mom used to make me walk to elementary school. I was oversleep, and she was like, "No, you still going? It's all right. Go ahead and walk." I'm like, "Mom, I'm like 7th grade. What's going on?"
Okay, like I missed the bus, please.
She's like, "You be all right." So I get it.
Times have changed. I feel like parents are too okay with gentle parenting and trying to be their friends than having that structure.
I had to learn, and I'm still learning, but I had to learn that not every child needs to be beat. Now, what I mean by that,
and I get that,
is that every relationship I've been in, I always make a joke with the girl that I was with, is that I'm tearing the kid up. And what I meant by that is that, and I will always use the example, if our son or daughter disrespected your mother, your father, that's worth an ass whooping. I'm tearing him up.
Ass whooping.
Now, if he goes to school, acts up, my mom acted up in school, I acted up in school. It's okay. That's just a stern talking. I ain't saying tear him apart for everything. But that ass gonna get torn up every once in a while. Just because I love you,
but they don't even do that for the manners part.
And that's the problem.
And that's the problem. And if you can't even get them to have manners for strangers, how do you expect them to have manners for you?
And I feel like that's where the disconnect is coming from, because kids is parenting the parents, and I'm like, whoa, time out, flag on the play. That's not where it works at.
Here?
And that's
so sad. It's so sad.
When we have to ask that question, we're already messed up.
Yeah, like I'm not against the gentle parenting, because like you said, to a certain extent, yes, I'm gonna use it because there were certain things that I grew up on.
Yeah,
like instead of allowing me to talk and explain to you my feelings, you were always, I'm the parent, I know it all.
Yes.
But I won't be doing that with my children.
And that's something that I had to learn, like, was the grown folks' business. That's okay, but to a certain extent, you had to just educate me, like, Uncle Will was in jail because he was stealing, and he went to jail for that's why he wasn't here on Christmas. Now it's just grown folk business.
It's just grown folk business.
And I get it. It's a time and place, but it's just like at certain times you can explain, and then at certain times I do understand.
Because if I don't know, how would I know through less, like we were explaining, these are life lessons.
Yes.
Teaching is supposed to be talked about for us to learn
And that's
know.
literally where this podcast comes in for me, because I lost my mom at the age of 13, and I always told people, friends, foes, strangers, I had to learn from making the decision to go left and right, go right, okay, bump my head, and then double back, waste time, and then go back left. So I had to learn from others. I had to learn from afar. Okay, they doing that over there. I don't want to sell drugs. I don't like prison. I'm gonna just go play basketball, football, and stay out of trouble. So literally, this podcast is just an extension of my life of how I had to learn. And now I want the rest of the world to learn the same way by saying, you know what? That black love couple that's been together for 40 years, they did tell me way back yonder, they did step out, and I can make it. I can make it. So we're going to go to therapy.
I love that.
And that's what this literally is for me, is to continue to learn and to spread that with the rest of the world.
I love that.
Literally.
Oh my goodness, I love
literally,
that.
because I was like, and I made a ton of mistakes.
Man.
I mean, many mistakes.
That's life. That's life. And that's a part of adulting. Like, it's okay to hit your head. It's okay to make these mistakes. But what you do after, that's when you should be held accountable. Okay, if I learn this mistake to not do this, but I keep doing it, okay, something is missing.
So now you're touching on why it was so hard for me to forgive myself, because growing up at the military high school I went to, Master Sergeant Bailey used to always say, learning is a change in behavior. And I did not change my behavior until it was the fourth strike. And we always say three is when
strikes,
you're out. So that's why for me it was so hard to give myself grace, because I'm like, yo, bro, I thoroughly know better. I should not be doing such and such. And I still made it. And I still felt
God give us grace.
And that's what I had to realize.
Mistake we make, even the ones that we continue to do over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's better said than done.
Of course.
Because I still harbor and hard to forgive myself on certain things. But God give us grace. If he give us grace, why can't we be gracious for ourselves and others?
And that's something my aunt always tells me. Is like, who are you? Like, you're not bigger than him. So if he can forgive you, you need to forgive yourself.
But also the thing is, we're not perfect.
Yeah.
So we gonna make mistakes.
For sure.
And I had to learn how to tell myself that as well. Because I'm not perfect. I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
I might mess up in the next. Once this interview over, if I go so I'm gonna mess up.
For sure.
But you know what makes it hard though? For us to not be able to make mistakes. Society paints this perfect picture. Whatever picture you take in that moment, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect. Everything that they're doing right there and at that moment is perfect. But what happened? What did they go through to get to that part?
No, for
they don't show that part. So it's sad to say, but we low-key grew up on the internet. The internet was brought up with us. So we know the blueprint. That shit stuff is really
right. It's okay.
That stuff really mess your mind up.
It does. And that's why I'm grateful for me. Like, we're in the social media era, but for the longest I had one, but I never was just on it. Like I was never that person. And still to this day, like I have to hit up the group chat like, yo, can I post a story but not as a highlight? And like, I lied to you not. I still have questions. I asked a friend today, like, how do you use Snapchat? Like, I don't know how to use certain things. I feel like I'm posting on TikTok wrong. Like, I'm literally watching tutorials on how to post on TikTok.
No, it's okay. I don't even post on TikTok. I'm still having a hard time doing it.
Yeah, so I get it. One question I want to know is, what does love mean to you guys?
Love to us means...
Speak for yourself, baby.
Well, okay. Excuse me. Well, love to me. Love to me is waking up to the same person every single day, and even though you go through things, good or bad, no matter what, you're still happy with what you have.
Yeah.
So she may be mad at me for, it don't matter what it is. I may have, put something wrong up in the house, or I may have not paid this on time, even though I pay my bills on time.
Don't come from me.
But just anything. But just knowing that the next day, I know that when I wake up, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I can answer this for you. I know, guarantee that you're happy, so I can speak that.
I was just saying, answer for yourself, because your definition of love, we already talked about this. It's completely different from my definition.
Yeah.
Like, love for me is unconditional. What conditions?
First of all, I want y'all to know, love for her is so much deeper than what I just said, because it might make y'all cry.
And when I just said it, I'm like starting to get teary-eyed, because it's for me, I would say it's unconditional, but with conditions. Like,
Explain.
when I say unconditional with conditions, there are things that I have my non-negotiables, and those are my conditions.
Yeah.
But the unconditional, I know that you're going to be there for me, whether I'm sick, whether I got one arm, whether I got no eyes, like unconditional, like genuine love, like they're for not just me, but my family around me, my friends around me, like physically, emotionally, financially, like all over for me. That's.
And I'll give you an example. You know, girls get their hypotheticals. She said, "Babe, if I had no arms, would you still marry me?"
And I ask my hypotheticals all the time because I like. That's how I know that you really love me unconditionally. Like, if I can't do the things that I'm doing now for you, like if I physically or so happen emotionally, God forbid, I can't do the things that I'm doing for you right now, would you still love me?
That's something my aunt always says. She met her husband, I believe, at like 16 or 17, real young. And she was just like, you got to find that person that's going to be willing to wipe your butt.
Yes.
Like, because she had a situation where she wasn't able to work, wasn't able to move. He carried me up the steps. He loved me. And one thing that I'm really realizing now, being single, 27, wanting to have a family one day, is I'm looking for somebody to love me in spite of, is what I say.
Yes.
So in spite of whatever that XYZ thing that comes after it, that is what I'm looking for. And just know that the mistakes that I've made in the past, I now learn not to do.
And I'm not doing that with
that's
you.
what it's like. I'm only for you, ride or die, no matter what. If I have to lay down my life for you, I will, because that's how much it means to me. So definitely.
It's so funny because I was just having this conversation with our photographer and other people too, but he has stuck with me because it's the truth.
Yeah.
If you have no problem with picking up dirty drawers every day, that's your non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But if you have an issue with clean dishes and picking up dirty drawers, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person.
Yeah.
Have your non-negotiables and have your negotiables of what you can and cannot deal with.
One question that we always like to ask on the podcast, and because you are a chess player, is what is your favorite chess piece on the board and why? Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna watch you think about that. I don't play no damn chess. So I'm let y'all do that now.
I would say the queen.
Why?
Cause she holds everything together. She holds it together. If the queen falls, the king is falling right behind her.
Yeah, he's slowly getting there.
Yeah, he's slowly getting right there after her. So I would say the queen, and it's kind of like, since we're talking about the black glove, it kind of falls onto her relationship. Without the queen, there's no king. Without the king, there's no.
And I often tell people, like, that's the queen is my favorite piece as well, because the whole concept of the game of chess is to put your king in a position where he cannot move.
Yes.
And the queen, which is probably the strongest piece on the board, does everything in her power to support him and help him to win. And I'm like, yo, when I was in my relationships, I didn't like care for my queens as they should be. And that's something that I'm learning, like, as I play, like, yo, like, I really should have took care of my queens.
I love that. You took the game into, like...
Yeah.
But that's normally when you're playing, you should be speaking out. So your opponent should be pouring into you lightly.
No, for sure. So appreciate you guys for having us on this episode or joining us for this conversation over chess today. Be sure to follow them on their IGs and see you at the next episode.
Peace out.
Nothing ever comes to a sleeper but a dream. So I'm woke, try and get that money any means. Used to watch mom sweat them clothes to get them clean. Grew up in the slums, ain't shit that I ain't seen. And it's still free, all the guys till they free. Couple niggas crippin' and the others throwing bees. One thing for sure, they gon' all ride for me. Cause we ain't never phased no gang family.
Sit down. This is definitely going on the bloopers. I want it all to be known. All right, smile.
not when I'm the prized possession. Took a couple L's, but we like to call those lessons. Coming from the burg, I was taught to pay attention. Cause them snakes out hissing and they'll sneak you in a second. For that I keep a circle that be tighter than a virgin. Couple niggas screaming, fuck the law, ready for purging. Tell them let the 40 touch a nigga like it's flirting. A lot of hidden hate, oh, y'all thought y'all was lurking. But ain't no time to lack, nah, I'm always observant. Grew up in the field, but I never played the corner. Still could jam a nigga if I don't like the rowdy running. I've been underground, running around like head tummy. Came from the bottom, I swear I started with nothing. So how can niggas hate? I swear to love it all be fake. Smiling in my face but wanna do me like I'm ace. That's why I say my grace before I put them on a plate. Cause I know I'm too important like a fucking uppercase. And life is like a race, it's just all about the pace. For a little money, dudes become a big disgrace. The fake come and go, but the real can't be replaced. They say the sky's the limit, only limit I embrace. And I'm about $1, no surprise I get the cake. Cause I was taught to hustle in any weather, cannot wait. I done had to starve just to make sure others ate. My pain versus your hurt is something that cannot relate. They try to lock the door, I kick that bitch like Kevin Gates. Couple roadblocks I ran through like I was freight. Heart of a lion, I was molded by the apes. That's why I stand talking, never fall, ain't no debate. I'm on a mission, I gotta get it. For all them long nights the oven had to heat the kitchen.